Auto workers in Brampton saying this morning that the federal government has failed the auto industry in this country. This after Chrysler announced 12,000 workers in North America will be laid off. That's 15% of the workforce. 1,100 workers at the Brampton plant will lose their jobs early next year. And the economic pain does not end there. It's estimated that the loss of one assembly plant job has a ripple effect and costs 7 more jobs in the greater economy. Later on the morning news, we'll have more on the impact of the Chrysler layoffs with auto industry expert Paul Timoteo. That interview is coming up 8:45 this morning. Auto industry expert and president of Car Cost Canada, Paul Timoteo, joins us live in studio this morning. Just incredible news about the loonie. It continues to go higher.
Yep.
This has got to be more bad news for the auto industry here in Canada.
It's definitely bad news for the auto industry, for the auto workers especially. It's always tough when you see that sort of cutback from the manufacturers. It wasn't totally unexpected. The main reason that they're giving for that is the dropping of a couple of slow-selling models. Hopefully they'll be able to pick that up in other areas. And obviously the nice thing is the good news. We're losing 1,000 on one side. We're gaining 63,000 on the other side.
Those are all in Alberta, though. Those are all construction and jobs in Alberta. I mean,
yep.
Talking about, this is, I think, what gets a lot of people in this province is you start talking about the national unemployment rate and all the rest of it, but it doesn't really reflect what's happening in this province.
Well, that's just it. We're wrestling with the loss of the manufacturing jobs. A lot of that is the fact that the dollar is high. So the dollar being high is a little bit of a double-edged sword. It's great for us buying things in the U.S. It's not so great for us manufacturing and exporting to our biggest customers.
You don't often see business and union leaders on the same page, but both saying the Bank of Canada really needs to cut interest rates to be able to tame it. Do you think that's going to help?
Well, I'd like to see it. Everybody would like to see their mortgage a little bit lower, but on the other side, they're also trying to fight inflation, and they're afraid if they lower interest rates, it'll lower the dollar a little bit, but then it'll move inflation up.
But that's not going to really help, because the bottom line is how many Americans are buying cars. It's all about the American market, because we export those vehicles.
That's true. The American market is 90%. So, how much really happens here doesn't really affect the market overall. So we're kind of at, it's great when their market's great. We're selling a ton of cars to their market and exporting all kinds of product. But when it's going the other way, we've got to be careful.
Obviously, with concerns for the people in Brampton who are losing their job, there is perhaps an upside here. Will car costs come down for people buying cars? Chrysler, on the same day, announcing that they're jacking up incentives and rebates.
Absolutely. We've been seeing it. Our data department gets all of the incentives that come in. So yesterday was a big day for us, as I'm watching all of these numbers come in and just trying to absorb all this. And with Chrysler announcing $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 additional discounts on a lot of popular vehicles, that's making the vehicles a lot more attractive, and with the sales numbers that came out yesterday, they were a little bit skewed. I thought sales overall were up 2%, which is a little bit of a shocker. But if you really dug into the numbers, you saw that the big three sales were up big, and the cars that were selling well, Hondas and Toyotas, were down. And so when you look at those numbers, what that's really telling us is the car makers that are offering the deals, i.e. the big three, they're still selling well. The ones that aren't offering the big deals, like Infiniti is down, Toyota is down, Honda is down. Those are all the guys who were flying high before. So their sales have kind of hit a wall a little bit.
Are they going to have to follow suit?
I think they're going to have to follow suit, because a lot of those buyers are the ones that are going to the States, because their cars are significantly cheaper there.
Quickly, we're out of time. Are we going to see cost parity between cars here in the U.S. ever?
I don't know. I think we may eventually see it. I think it's going to be slow coming. But the nice thing about, I guess for us really, is we track all of these incentives, and a lot of these things are behind the scenes. They are not lowering the MSRP prices. Chrysler did not lower the retail price. They're adding more incentives to try to keep people from going south, and I think the other guys will come along.
Paul Timoteo is the president of Car Cost Canada and an auto industry expert. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate your perspective on that.
Thank you.